Wow.
At least we got one camera recording.
The other camera is for the audience?
Yeah.
That's okay, don't need it.
For the
Yeah, so,
that's
this is
just
fine. It's,
So
but yeah, I think this computer and the charger.
Hmm.
if that's, I think it would power up. wouldn't it?
I have an HP charger.
Yeah. I mean, this is like a top, so I think we're about
Is that?
power to the computer.
Let me see, maybe I didn't get everything out of that rule.
Well, these are one.
Oh. It's really not.
You got it?
Yeah.
Cause there is a transformer back here.
I think we're all good.
Just travel.
On the side wasn't.
Maybe.
Baker or something.
Yes.
Has to be on. Yeah, you'll have to erase. Yeah.
To the ones. In the home.
Yeah, and now you're an official part of the town. Oh, so we're recording, so other than ever going in.
Boy, when you got to the here, turn off.
Start recording.
Video system.
Yeah, you. These people.
They're so big. The agendas, there's some agendas I put out for last night, so we're not.
You're gonna sit down?
Sure.
I'll take and just throw that back there. And you can do that.
Well, for the lead though. There's one that we're gonna be looking at the DRB out there. I did, and I'm gonna send out an email, but if you wanted to look at the bigger.
Oh, yeah.
The DRB meetings, all that stuff is out there. If you wanted to look at that, but you can get it in an email.
Okay. Cause I don't know if I'll have time, we have a lot over here. Yeah. And I'm gonna sit here.
Sorry.
Don't worry. This is pretty extraordinary circumstances.
Oh, these chairs are. Are these the same chairs we've had here?
Yeah.
How do you go to place?
I heard that mentioned.
Sitting on the customers. Yeah. It's good, we can see you.
Great.
That's perfect.
Well, so I think.
Here we actually have
We should be able to get.
the audience and
We got.
That's some of the audience.
Stays muted, the big one is not muted, right? Yeah.
New York City,
Huh?
is that New York City?
we all use mics.
Yeah.
We have people to talk up here.
Yeah.
So
Maryland.
we could pan that camera a little bit away from that door.
Yeah.
Towards the
Yeah.
foot.
You don't want to switch them as they're running away.
Alright, I think we're all set now.
Yeah, we're just gonna turn that camera a little bit
I don't think I.
to get the lower, a little bit more. Sorry.
That's. On the inside. No, really, yeah. That is a little bit better.
So you got it now, including
Yeah, you got Luke too there.
Luke would be at the table.
So that should be good, you know.
Yeah, that's fine.
So Luke, you wanna see where you fit on that table there? All right, great job.
Guys did good getting all this.
I can't believe it, we actually opened at 7:22. Okay, so this is the August 20th. Planning Commission and the town of Bakersfield. And we have an agenda before us. Are there any adjustments to the agenda? We really have just one thing, and that's the full first draft. All right, introduction to Planning Commission.
Heather Jewett.
All right. Bill Irwin.
Ken Carter.
All right, and that is a quorum. We need to have three with a current set of 4 out of 5 required seats. And we take an opportunity here. If anybody's interested in staying in the planning commission or the development review board, we have vacancy. And the fact that you folks have come to multiple meetings, it would be indicative of your interest and might be important for you to
Linda.
Consider. that you would like to join us, and I think it really would be interesting. The planning commission is a lot less demanding than the development review board. Our primary purpose is what we're going to talk about tonight, and that is the town plan. Right now, we are in a process of revising the town plan for the first time in 8 years. And we actually have Luke Slomba from the Northwest Regional Planning Commission here to help us with that. But before we go to that, is there any public comment? Any here that wants to say anything before we get started? Okay, not hearing any. So Luke, why don't you come on up
Yeah,
and
sure.
we'll go through the town plan. And I just want to open with, it's beautiful. I think it's a really great looking document. I think you've done an exceptional job with laying it out. It's nice that a lot of things are like 1 page. Some of them are a couple of pages. The layout is good, the graphics are good, nice photographs. And I think that also the content is really sound. I have actually spent the last 4 days going through the whole thing. And I have sent you a copy of my comments.
Great.
Because it will be easier for you to see them than to try to take notes here tonight. And after we do this, then we'll talk about the rest of the agenda for the evening.
Does anyone else want to for a copy?
Okay. And we're recording.
Actually,
Asking.
well, this one is different page numbers, I guess.
Here you go.
We gave all of the world the passcode to the.
Yeah.
You did it. Oh, you know, the mic was on, say, hey, this is it.
Hot mic.
Well, you know,
Far enough away.
and frankly, I don't know who's gonna wanna come in here.
And John can edit it out. He said if something
Oh.
like that happens, he can pull it out.
Yeah. All right,
Alright, so. I guess, are there any like specific comments that you'd like to discuss tonight? There's. A couple outstanding, there's the future land use map and the scenic resources map that we were gonna talk about too, that are the 2 kind of. Outstanding things of the plan, and then. Sam, who couldn't be here tonight, also sent me some written comments that I was
Yeah.
gonna share too.
Oh, good. good. Yeah, so I'll share number of things. But why don't you get to what you want to make sure we talk about,
Okay.
which sounds like it's the 2 maps that you sent us. Great.
Think anything?
Luke, did you send?
It was sent by email from him.
Yeah, it would have been a while ago.
This is like July.
Yeah.
Is it online yet at all or no? Just,
It should be on the project website.
okay, perfect. Cause I'm like, not finding. It's NRPC.
Yeah.
Here's some nuts too.
Oh,
Thank you.
Yeah, so I mean, this draft that we have is pretty final. But the one thing, or I guess two things, the future land use map. So I've brought a version here that's pretty similar to what you currently have in your zoning. It kind of follows the existing chases districts. In the village center and high density residential districts, I snapped them to parcel lines, so. Before they kind of cut across parcels, and you would end up with situations where a parcel is like half in one district and half in another. And, yeah, it usually keeps things simpler to minimize that, so. This is a draft with that change, and then also we discussed, moving the conservation district boundary along Route 108, south of the village to have some rural next to 108, to not prevent development on that road, since that's a place that the planning commission has identified as good for development. So that conservation district boundary has a buffer now, from 108 instead of going right up to the road. And so those are the changes in this version, but before I made it final and put it into the plan, I wanted to just discuss with you guys if there's any more substantial changes that you would like to make to the future land use map that would get incorporated into the zoning in the future, when the time is a zoning update.
I'm just curious about, I know that you put in this buffer along one way up conservation district. Why not just go to those property lines on those lots? Because they look like they're all pretty much large lots
Yeah.
along there.
Yeah, those are big lots, so I just did a buffer from the road. I forgot how many feet it was. I think it was maybe 1,000-foot buffer from 108. And yeah, I didn't try to do property lines in that case because the parcels are pretty huge.
Hmm. Okay,
But
yeah,
I think in that case, it would encourage, it would be more permissive of development closer to 108 on those parcels. So like someone could put a house more easily along the road.
right,
But
right.
If you discouraged to make a long move right up into the mountain to put a house.
That makes sense. I also just noticed that it crosses a couple lots on Kings Hill Road there. Instead of following the property lines there, I mean, that's just something to clean up a little bit.
There you have a aquifer overlay,
Uh-huh.
which I guess is where the town's public water source comes from.
Right,
So that was cut out from your existing high density residential district,
Mhm.
and I thought it would be good to also cut that out. I think it's conservation there with an aquifer overlay, so I think the zoning there is intended to follow the boundaries of the source protection area to preserve the public water supply.
yeah. I'm actually specifically referring to that conservation line that crosses both south of that aquifer thing. See that? It doesn't really follow. It cuts across two lots, basically. That now makes,
Like the little corner of the.
well, it's just Kings Hill.
G in Kings,
Am I looking at this?
where the.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
And then the actual stadium.
Just like right here, this actually crosses.
Oh, yeah.
There, I'm just thinking we should just clean that up and make it along the property lines.
Yeah,
Because
I guess it's good.
That could just cause some future, if someone wanted to develop and they'd be like, hey, I've got some in rural, some in conservation.
Yeah, well. I think expanding the conservation district is usually like a more controversial thing than reducing the conservation district.
Mhm.
Like if you're making minor edits, I think it's good to err on the side of being more permissive instead of more restrictive,
You're
because
suggesting it be made rural.
Maybe just go down to here and then
yeah,
here, and here maybe.
yeah, that could work.
Just to clean that up just a little bit.
Yes.
And this a big one here that's,
It's like, example, the village inset,
Mhm.
you've really done very well to snap the city residential and village center to property boundaries.
Mhm.
But once you started to go down Kings Hill Road and 108, it sort of, and there's a little bit even on Basswood Hill Road, but you might work on snapping those two property lines too. So like if you look down Basswood Hill Road, it gets to a property where there's a bisecting line
Mhm.
through a property that makes part of the property rural and part of the property conservation.
Yeah,
If we could just clean those up, and similarly on Kings Hill Road, and I think you're right. It's best to do it so that the correction is towards them being rural.
Mhm.
Similarly, as you go down 108, I don't know how you can do it, but there's the one property that has, it's kind of near the word Kings, and it's got a part of conservation going through just a corner of it.
Mhm.
If we could pull it out of that corner and then move the green conservation, so, or if you want to be even more conservative, make that whole lot conservation, but I think we have to make a decision on that. Because as you were describing, making something conservation versus making it rural,
Mhm.
this is what I'm talking about right there.
Oh, yeah, that corner there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, I
That
mean.
would go right here,
Mhm.
and then that would make this whole property line here rural,
Mhm.
and that would make all of this conservation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So I saw you had your hand up, Amber. Did you have a question?
The lines that you're discussing are consistent with our existing zoning map, so it's nice that we're considering expanding the rural a little bit in those spots.
Okay. And that map that you're referring to is,
I took a picture of it off the wall.
right, okay. Cause I don't know what the provenance of the maps on the walls are. What he's doing is he's working with the Agency of Natural Resources Atlas, which has actual property boundaries. And then he's working with the districts that have been published over the years to try to snap the districts so that a property is just one,
Yeah.
not conservation and rural, or high density residential and rural. It's just one of the two, with the
Except
conservative nature towards it so that you don't take away property rights that people have counted on.
I have a question.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
Linda.
the big map here and the little map, the village center are not the same. And it was my understanding that the village center was gonna go up to the corner, like where the sign says Bakersfield
on 108 or,
on 108.
yeah,
So right there between where the music used to be and Gary's property.
Hmm.
That would be the start of village center coming this way. And it seems to be knocking part of that out. And the big map is not showing that the village center extends much beyond the intersection of 36 and 108. So
yeah, that's true, it isn't. Is that? How did we come up with that idea of making the village center down to the sign? That just was a thought,
that's also a thought of
historic,
making a walking community.
Yeah.
Making it safe for kids that walk the school sidewalks and stuff.
yeah,
To actually,
yeah.
now talking to more people, they're saying actually it should go down to Larry Street Farm. You know, because you got people down there that are walking,
right,
and people that live out on Sunset View. One lady said that she likes to walk and she tried walking along that road. She said people take pleasure on forcing her into the ditch,
No,
you know? So
that's not right.
there's talk about sidewalks and Nick McCrib is working with Kyle
Is it?
at Northwest Regional to see about getting a grant for sidewalks.
Good.
Self managed thing.
Good. Yeah, I hope they can run out to Sunset View. Anyways, there's a bunch of houses out there.
Is that you have village water out there now. And it was like the existing span.
And we got Starbucks out there too.
Yeah. Can you hit no on that? I don't know why it's
Oh.
doing,
It's just need to say something.
thanks.
So I think it's important to try to use the village inset when you're looking at the property lines and the coloration
Mhm.
and not try to look at the larger map. Because the resolution on the larger map is not as clear. You can kind of see the resolution, but it, especially getting close to the intersection of 38 and 108, or 36 and 108, it gets to be so tight there, you can't really see the orange. So I would use what is in the village inset for the definitive.
Yeah, right now it doesn't go much past
I mean, it's a pretty small area there anyway.
south of the, yeah. I don't know how you come on. You thought something like what defines a village center? Is that like where the village really goes to, let's go to where?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically where you want to encourage denser development. I think right now in your zoning, the minimum lot size in the village is like a quarter acre.
Yeah,
And
I don't think that would include Sunset Lane. What's Sunset Lane lot size?
I think it's,
it's sort of 1 acre maybe. or-
yeah, I think it's 1 acre.
I think so too. That's probably why it's excluded from the village center.
Yeah, but I think, well, I think it was built that way due to the zoning it was already in when it got built, which I think is an acre minimum and high density. But like in the future, if you wanted to make it possible for smaller lots down that way, I would say that extending the village center makes sense. Cause yeah, if you have public water down that way and it's close within walking distance to the village. And if you're planning to extend sidewalks down there, then I mean, it would make sense as a place to sort of encourage extending the village and increase that zone.
And I'm just trying to figure out who or what gives the authority to extend. Is it just like the planning commission, which a lot of the plan says? Or does it have to go to the select board?
Well, I mean, this whole plan will go to the select board. Yeah, for town plan, it originates with the planning commission and then is adopted by the planning commission and approved by the select board. And then for zoning, your zoning is supposed to implement your town plan, so the map in here is sort of like a template for future zoning updates. Like you don't have to follow it exactly necessarily, but in the future, when you do update your zoning, this will be the map that you're sort of looking at and basing it off of. So it is the planning commission and then like where it has final approval as well.
Yeah, because I would be concerned about changing the, for example, just using Sunset View. That from high density residential where they're allowed to go 1 acre to making a village center where they could go to smaller. Then we'd have that whole development. Somebody might say, I'm gonna subdivide my properties throughout there. So it seems like it'd be more appropriate for us to be conservative based on the historical development of that particular parcel. Not to base it on where the water goes, but base it on how it was zoned when that development was created. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So. Is that gonna restrict your sidewalks in the future?
I don't think that the sidewalks are going to be related to whether it's village center
No.
or high density.
Because we in the road right away, wouldn't the sidewalks be in the? This 108's right away, wouldn't it?
Yes, but I remember when the stormwater drains were putting in and I questioned the project manager.
So the town plan that we're looking at tonight
Yes,
describes the sidewalks very clearly. There's
Yes.
a map, and it's got where it currently is. And it also has north of that and south of that, where it was originally planned. So I think that's what people would use, select board, planning commission, making decisions about the
where
sidewalk.
would I find that page?
That would be in the transportation chapter. Yeah. And I heard from our transportation planner that the town is looking into getting grant funding to actually build that sidewalk.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's clearly a major priority
Yeah.
among a lot of people. And it makes a lot of sense for walkable streets, and the services that people would want to use.
Mhm.
Okay, so that, I don't think you'll have to really consider that the definition of where the village center and high density residential is gonna change the planning for the sidewalks. I think it's going to be on the basis of the original plans for the sidewalks and what the new contract would be relative to select board decisions on building out that sidewalk. Could be that they go as far north as they wanted to originally. And it could be that they go as far south as they wanted to originally. And that would be independent of the designated land use areas.
Yes, Bill, let's see on page 33. Where it shows the proposed sign.
Good.
That's good.
Yeah, because I was looking at that very carefully myself.
Mhm.
All right. So, is there any action that anyone believes is necessary on? So I guess if I'm correct, just I want to make sure that this one that says future land use, town of Bakersfield, this would be the official map.
Yeah,
And this one on the other side is just describing what changes are.
yeah, this is just illustrating the
Right.
changes.
So if everybody is looking at this, where it says future land use town of Bakersfield on the left. That is what would be adopted for the town of Bakersfield. This is a very significant, and although we have asked tonight that Luke would take another look at some of the conservation and rural areas to see if he can snap those more closely to property lines before we make a final adoption of it. Is that accurate?
Yeah, yep, I see another, another one that's
Yep.
cutting across the property here on the high density residential, but.
Yeah, we really don't want there to be any property owner that is. Got property that's partially conservation and rural or any other land use area designation. It should be one only for that property.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and in some cases with like huge parcels, that's not always gonna be possible, but you know, like wherever. Wherever it makes sense, and in the village, most of the parcels are pretty small, so usually.
Yeah.
Be easy to snap.
So just recognize, Luke,
Yeah,
that if you don't do it, the property lines, there's going to be some problem in the future.
yeah, I mean, right now they're not snapped at all, and there's
Right.
a bunch of problems. so-
I can already hear somebody coming in and saying, wait a minute.
Right, where's the
When
actual?
we changed this, I was all conservation or all rural or
And this
whatever.
one, like, they come in, they're like, where's the actual line there? It cuts my property right in half. Oh,
Right.
yeah.
What Ken was talking about, if you look at the village inset,
Mhm.
there's a property that it is on Route 108 South.
Mhm.
It appears there's no actual property line boundary splitting the high density residential
It's a long narrow
and
lot
the
there.
rural there.
Yeah, I think I see the one you're talking about, the one that that has frontage at the top and then it kind of snakes back around the other parcel.
It's just, yeah, well, there's a few on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. That's right there.
Yeah.
And this one. This one here has like, that's kind of
yeah.
there.
I think. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was, yeah, so that portion was already in. And then I added another little portion, but to include their whole property would mean.
Right. I think we want to go the opposite direction, make it rural to their more northern boundary, making it village or high density residential.
This one actually looks like it's landlocked. It doesn't really have any frontage, so it's, doesn't really need to have a height, you know.
Yeah, I'll see what's
Like,
there
yeah.
too, if there's like a house or something, or if it's just
Mhm.
vacant.
So this is iteration one. We'll look at this again in the future, because we've all identified a number of places, and Luke, we appreciate your effort, and we know it's not
Yeah.
full.
Oh, yeah, yeah, no, and then it's the place design.
Good, right.
Okay, where Bakersfield Tree Farm is next to Larry. And Larry is, where you got it, it's half in rural and half in,
Yeah, I think we've talked about that one. Yeah, that's the one that's half purple and half yellow. And what we're looking at doing is hopefully we can make it so it's all yellow. Which would make it all rural.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, on here, yeah.
How about we consider like we did with the 1,000 foot, buffer along one way, we do 1,000 buffer.
On that side?
Consistent from anybody who's placed,
Mhm.
because I imagine Mr. Larry's gonna be a little peevish if he suddenly has to go from 1 acre lot zoning to 10 acre.
Yeah, that's the challenge that we have here.
Yeah,
We're trying to make a decision which we think is fair,
Right,
but that the landowner may not.
right.
And
Right.
so I think this is going to be an iterative, the repetitive process. Where, Luke, I think you have to try again. But what we'll wanna do is maybe warn a particular meeting. And tell people we are establishing the future land use areas to specific property boundaries. And if you're concerned about what yours will be, you need to attend.
Mhm.
Because it's tricky, you know, we can't make a decision arbitrarily.
Yeah.
What would be better is to hear from that landowner what they would like it to be.
Mhm.
As
And when,
long as it's conceived, you know, you don't want somebody in the middle of the village center or high density residential say, I want it to be rural. But where it's at the boundary of rural and resident and high density residential, that's where it especially seems to make the most difference.
Mhm.
Because when you get to rural and conservation, they're essentially the same.
Yeah, and when you update your zoning, if you go through a similar process as the town plan and get a municipal planning grant and everything, there will be a whole public outreach process for the zoning update too. Like this map doesn't necessarily set things in stone, and there will be other opportunities for people to weigh in on the final zoning map as well.
So what you're saying, if I hear you correctly, is that what we do in the town plan
Mhm.
will be a good effort.
Mhm.
But what will be truly law
Mhm.
will be what is in the bylaws.
Yes,
So this is the first effort at it,
yep,
and it'll give us an opportunity, for example, at the town meeting day, as well as any other opportunities to share with people at the bylaws revision. We're going to be making the official law for the land use areas.
yeah,
We have started that process with an estimation in the town plan. The bylaws, if you want to make sure your voice is heard, you need to come to the revision meetings.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like the town plan future land use map is sort of broad strokes, like. Here are the areas we'd like to see different types of development. And then your zoning implements that with actual specific standards like minimum lot sizes, setbacks and uses and all of that.
Okay.
So, yeah, this isn't creating any regulations or,
Great.
you know.
So I think you've got a good start. One more iteration, we can probably incorporate it into the plan.
Great. Cool. So I guess that's it. The people want to do not. I guess we could go over Sam's comments now that he brought.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So. Give some comments on the telecommunications section. Specifically the policy that says telecommunications infrastructure should be managed so it does not impair scenic views. And then in the scenic resources chapter, it sort of generally mentions some scenic view sheds on Route 108, but he's worried that this will seem like it's not welcoming for cell tower companies if we are sort of broadly defining these scenic areas and then saying that cell towers should impair these areas. And he has some suggestions to make it more a little bit. So I mean, there's a couple different ways we could do that. We could change the policy language to soften it a little bit, or we could keep the policy language and more clearly define the scenic areas to make them less broad, and sort of narrow them down to specific sections of specific routes and say these are the 2 or 3 specific areas that are high priority scenic view sheds where we don't want cell towers to impact that, but the rest of the town, the majority of the town would be fine and
Open for business.
yeah. So
I guess it all depends on whether you are going to be affected by it. Because some people are gonna be really upset if people get a tower next to them, like we just had one in Enosburg, Bakersfield borderline.
yeah,
That went for years of discussion and actually went to the US Supreme Court. Not the state
yeah.
Supreme Court.
There's radio tower.
Yes.
What was it? So that's over with now? Sorry.
It is over with for now. I don't know if there'll be any further legal action, but kind of going forward, we would like to try to prevent those sorts of things.
Yeah. So with defining scenic views in the plan, I think it's important that those are like public views, like views that benefit the whole town, the whole public, like views along public roads and stuff. Like if it's someone's own view from their private property, like that's not something that should be in a town document. But like if a cell tower in an area would have a negative impact on the whole town, that the town wants to protect against that, then that would be sort of the scenario where you would want to put it in the scenic resources section.
Yeah, I thought that the 3 specific locations we identified in the plan, and I'm trying to find them. There's a lot of. They're described here, Route 36 and Cross Road looking east. So it's kind of as you're coming from St. Albans towards Bakersfield, and you see all the mountains there in front of you, right there across road. From that view shed there, We thought that that was like the entrance into Bakersfield from the highway, from St. Albans, et cetera.
So what mountain are you saying, okay,
Well, Laraway is one of them.
huh?
You can see Laraway from there, and I'm not sure what that one in Bakersfield is, but Belvedere Mountain or. It's not Belvedere, it's
Yeah.
it's Cold Hollow, yeah.
And so these are,
Kind of before you come to that straightaway by your house, Crossroad where that comes into 36.
just near Paul Stanley's place. So
Yeah.
if you take Paul Stanley's place down to Route 136, right there. So it's like a public road. It's not anybody's specific property. There's no house there. So it's not like anybody's looking at their window at this. It's that the public as they drive into Bakersfield. That's why that one was chosen. The other was coming down from the Four Corners towards Mount Mansfield, looking south from Route 108 where you could see Mount Mansfield. There are people that buy lots so that they can see Mount Mansfield. They don't want to buy a lot and then have a tower go up between their property and Mount Mansfield. So that kind of makes some sense, but it's not anybody specific. It's on a road. It's as you drive south into Cambridge. And then the last is that as you go Route 108 to Enosburg looking north. Now that one and the second one don't have any like boundary north or south. You could say view of Mount Mansfield looking south from Route 108 from the border of Bakersfield, the southern border of Bakersfield. That would give it a more specific location. And then you could say the Route 108 to Enosburg looking north from the border of Bakersfield going into Enosburg. I don't know. Frankly, if people are gonna get all hot and bothered by this, I'd take it out and leave it all the chance that somebody's gonna get screwed, that they bought a piece of property and now there's a wind turbine looking at them, and they never wanted to buy property in Bakersfield or Vermont and be looking at a wind turbine, or to be looking at a cell phone tower. So I'm not gonna argue for it or against it. If you all wanna take it out, that's fine. I'll just leave it up to my luck and the fact that I'm gonna be dead in 10 years and I don't care.
20, come on, 20.
Okay, let's go play.
You have it up there.
Pretty healthy to me, so.
Yeah,
Here's the thing, they talked to a couple of, guys, or company that would sell towers. And I asked them, what if it was in that the town is gonna pick a place where you can, where you can? And they said, well, I guess they don't wanna get it, have a cell tower. And if we pick it, we're gonna have it where we can get all coverages. And we're gonna pick it where we can, we get all the coverages. We got electricity, we got EV access. We like to have trees in front of it. You said 75 to 100-foot trees to block most of, a lot of the tower. We try to look at that. And because he said, if you do it right, there'll be one tower. If you do it wrong, there could be 2 or 3.
So. The problem is that everybody has a different perspective. For example, business people, they don't want any restrictions on anything. Because they want free enterprise. And then people that have residences, they want to protect their residents. They put up locks on their doors, they put trees up so that they don't see the neighbor, whatever it might be. And so it's always hard to pick the right kind of guidelines that you want to have. We tried to pick a few guidelines that were related to, as people come into the community, whether they want to be, one of the first things they see is a billboard, which is a cell tower or a wind turbine. Now, I,
One thing I'll say,
yeah,
and there's a lot of people, when they see a tower, they say, good. I can get cell phone coverage. If I have an accident here, I have a heart attack or something. Also, if the older people, if you got one of these things and you get into trouble, you get no cell phone. Doesn't work.
right. So I actually did my PhD in radio frequency radiation propagation for cell phones. So this is not just me yapping at you because I'm a member of the planning commission. I'm a scientist that understands this. If this was perfectly flat, Kansas cornfields, you could get coverage by having one tower in one place. The fact that we've got hills all over the place, those hills block the signal. If you got a tower at 100 feet, that's what the maximum is here. You've got a hill that's 300 feet. It does not go past that hill. Physically just does not. So they gotta pick places, and the places they like to pick are one, where they've got a long line of sight. Second, where they get a lot of cars, because those are the people, not the 1,300 people that live here. It's the people that drive back and forth between Enosburg and Cambridge, or here and St. Albans. That's their money, is the people in cars. And also, you're going to have a lot of these to really cover everybody in every little hollow in this bumpy town that we have here. This is really hard to get cell phone coverage in the mountains. And that's why the best thing you could ever do is put them on the top of every one of them. And then you would get down in the holes in those hollows. But you can't do that because now you've got Las Vegas instead of Vermont.
But what you gotta do
Yeah,
is you gotta, to get one tower, you can't go and say, the towers can't be more than 100 feet. What you're doing there, you're restricting what you're trying to accomplish.
right.
So stay away from that. And I think the board, Bakersfield, and everybody,
Yeah,
they should, the regional planning commission, I guess, is involved,
yeah,
but let the engineers and state say, okay, is this a good deal?
right. I understand.
Not us.
I think it's just, first, it's a physical impossibility to get cell phone coverage in this whole town. You'd have to have maybe 30 towers to do it.
No,
If you go into the cities, you know how to do it now? The tower, the antennas are on every other.
Skyscraper.
Because now they're using technology that goes very short distances, very close to the ground. That's the way cities work. We don't live in a city. We live in a mountainous region, and almost every mountainous region in the whole United States has bad cell phone coverage. Where you want it is where people drive, where they could have accidents, where people are driving so that they get to the hospital, where people are driving from one place to another and they're going to be late or they're delayed. It's just physically impossible unless you have lots of antennas all over the place to get these signals to propagate. You have Wi-Fi in your house? I do.
Yeah.
I can't get my phone to answer if I'm too far down in part of my house because of the walls that go between. And that's the way it is with the physical mountains that we have in Vermont. So that's why I'm all for, if you guys don't want to have any restrictions at all, then you don't have to put anything in here. I just thought it was a good idea for people being welcomed into Bakersfield that they thought it looked good.
I think from the sounds of what the town was very insistent in the meetings, I think they want it removed. They were more concerned about safety. And I wish there was a way to kind of balance that. the technologies, it's changing every day, so maybe in the course of 10 years, we won't have to have something, so.
I think that's why there's Wi-Fi. You have it in your house that uses your system in your house. And then when you go on the road, you hope you can go from your little dirt road up in the hills down to 36 or 108, where you've got real solid coverage. Because again, the physics of it
Yeah,
are that you can't get a radio signal to go up by itself. It just goes straight. That's what these things do physically. And so it's really hard. But I don't want to let the,
What
because I understand it's a very emotional topic. A lot of people want cell phone coverage like they get when they're in Burlington, but like they get when they're in St. Albans. You get that because there's lots of antennas in there and because it's pretty flat. It's really pretty flat in Burlington and St. Albans. It's not flat here. It's not flat in Jeff. It's not flat in Cambridge. It's not flat in Johnson. These places don't have good cell phone coverage either. This is why this state has suffered with this dreaded public issue of cell phone coverage. If you want good cell phone coverage, move to Iowa. You're not going to get good cell phone coverage with antennas in mountainous villages unless you have lots of antennas.
but I think I think there could be some room to improve, like, we're not
I
asking
think
for
you
every.
just take it all out. Any restrictions, I'm not gonna argue for it because I don't even care anymore. No, I'm just being honest. I really have tried to share what I think are some of the facts about the physics of these signals. And I've also seen people all around this whole country. I've testified in court here in Vermont and lots of different states where people don't like these things. And if they're rich, they don't get them because they get the biggest lawyers and they stop them. And the people then build it someplace else because they're going to always go where there's the least resistance. So you could make Bakersfield easy pickings. Just say, put them wherever you want. And you'll have them where somebody's going to be objecting because it's near the school. I have testified at probably 50 schools where they wanted to put up antennas. And if all the parents come and says their children are getting cancer from the radio frequency radiation from the antennas. So they don't build them near schools. You do it here at the town hall. People are going to say, I'm not going to go down there. That's where they got the antenna and it radiates people. So, there's just lots of different perspectives here. And it's not easy to manage, but I don't think it's going to be as simple as we like it to be. That's why a lot of people that live in the woods, they get Wi-Fi.
I think you've gotta take out what you're saying, no more than 100 feet tower. You should not say what the tower should be.
The height.
Because the people that are building that, they want to get as much coverage as they can.
Right, well, you can get that height if you put it up on a higher elevation.
Does it say somewhere no more than 100 feet?
No, it's not in here. I think it's the Northwest Regional Planning.
Okay, yeah. Because in the plan, it actually says that a small number of higher towers is preferred to a large number of low towers. So this plan at least encourages higher towers to provide more coverage.
So it makes sense that we strike those 3 view sheds out and don't include any view sheds.
So I think you can still talk about scenic resources in your plan. If you look at the actual language of that section, it doesn't say that nothing should go in these areas. It just says the town encourages innovation in design and layout of development so that the visual impact can be minimized. The use of vegetative buffers and other screening methods are encouraged. So that language on its own isn't saying you can't build anything scenic view sheds. It's just saying if it's possible to minimize the visual effect, then the town supports that. But I think in the telecommunications section, we could maybe remove that specific policy where it refers back to the scenic resources section and says for cell towers.
Yeah, I'm fine with any of that.
Yeah.
I'm not
No, I think-
die on this battlefield.
That's a good point there that you just made, Luke.
Okay,
Amber, did you want to, did you get your thought? Answer the question?
Nobody really wants. Cell phone out on Waterville Mountain. So I'd love it if we incorporated, one definition of what we're calling a ridge line, which is the top. Because we don't want to see a cell tower up there. But we're okay. With it down below that.
Right, so not everyone has to see it, yeah.
Sure, that's a good, reasonable approach.
Wood bridge lines, yeah. Linda? Oh,
Shadow. I thought it would be helpful
Mhm.
for people to understand what.
Well, I just don't know what a ridge line is, to be honest with you. I don't know if you can define it.
Yeah, the state does.
Cause if you're in one area, you might have 5 ridge lines in front of you. I look out my door, there's 5 ridge lines. Cause there's 5 different ridges there. Some other person's got 1. Do I get to claim all 5 of mine are exempt and they only get to claim 1?
So I asked Underhill, I looked up Underhill. Not being still involved, the uppermost point of a ridge hill cliff slope or face. That may coincide with the top highest elevation. So. Maybe that's the highest point.
The highest point where? In the town or?
Of a ridge.
Yeah. So we probably have 30 ridges.
Right, maybe we just define it, I mean, what do we really want to protect is Waterville Mountain, the Cornwall Ridge, right, that's the one we care about.
Right, and the good news is that there's language in the plan that kind of protects those areas on the basis of habitats. And also the fact that it's conservation land. But I can tell you that money talks, and somebody wants to buy the property on a ridge line to put up wind turbines.
Did they prohibit, isn't this?
yeah, I think wind turbines,
We knock that out, like,
yeah, and I think in the regional plan too.
I don't know if you can, if you're gonna survive on that in court.
Yeah, I mean,
be
but at least, yeah.
Yeah.
And-
All of this is aspirational. You know,
for sure.
when it comes down to it, the commercial entities that have tens of millions of dollars are gonna outweigh any individual.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, that's
theoretically,
how-
like anything that has to go through Act 250 has to conform to the regional plan and the local plan. And
I don't know about the local plan. They didn't do that in Fairfield
for,
for the wind turbines on East Fairfield Pond.
yeah, well, that was before my time, so I'm not sure exactly what.
I think tightening up the language is helpful, you know, one way or the other, they at least,
Yeah,
we have
the
something to
language is
say.
okay. Sam doesn't like the language there about the view sheds, and it's fine to consider removing those.
Hmm.
Or
Amanda, did you have something to say?
Where does satellite, Starlink, that kind of thing, where does that fit into our puzzle?
So Starlink is in space,
Yes,
and so it's no interference with the mountains.
right,
And so it's so high that nothing interferes with it.
right.
And that's why a lot of people really like it. I have a lot of friends that live in the mountains and that's all they use because nothing interferes with it. Unfortunately, in the mountains,
Mention it in the plan. Not Starlink specifically, but satellite communication. Heather, you have information on that,
On Starlink,
on any satellite
I
communication
don't know if we'd have any
availability?
strength in
I
that.
mean, I've
For
had,
development.
I've had it at my house before. Is that what you mean, or what the effects and?
When the area had it at their home.
Yeah.
And very happy with it.
I
Sure.
switched to Fidium when it came out because political sides.
And then, Elon Musk shut off Ukraine's.
Yes, yeah.
We're like, oh.
Well, that and the space junk, and then you're having to, the more people that get on the satellite, the more satellites you have to put out. So eventually you're never gonna look at a sky and be able to tell what is a star and what is a satellite as it is right now. When I look out, there's a lot of stars that I think are stars, and then I'm like, oh crap, that's a Starlink. You know, and so that's the problem. The problem is you're funding somebody putting out more and more and more space junk out in the, so it's like a catch-22. However, it is, would be great if the cell phone, if the companies like AT&T and T-Mobile and all those are starting to get online where you can make satellite phone calls and satellite texting. Some of them already allow satellite texting on their phones. There's an upcharge to that. So yes, ultimately, that would solve a lot of the problems if we went to satellite. But ethically, you're still sending up crap into space. You're killing the natural resources. You're killing our environment in the space. That stuff comes down. It has come down. You know, what is it going to do when we have so much space junk in there? And the more people using it, the more satellites have to go up. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, it's not really something that Bakersfield has a role in, like
yeah,
putting satellites in.
No,
It's like private
yeah.
companies put satellites into space and then people can decide to pay for that service if they want to, so. I guess, like, we could mention in the plan as like an option that's available to people, but I don't think it's like. Something that would make sense to have any
Yeah,
policy.
I don't think we wanna share that there's other options to it, because frankly, that's all that's actually gonna work, is Wi-Fi calling through your internet system that comes to your house, which doesn't work when the power goes off, which is what the plan says. Or satellite services, which are almost impossible to shut off unless you are the richest man in the world and decide, I don't like the United States anymore and I'm going to turn it
Yeah,
off.
or Bakersfield specifically.
Yeah, I was there, I'm gonna.
Freaking bill early. Shit.
It doesn't work when your electricity is out either.
No, satellite does. I use satellite on the hazmat team.
Well,
It-
satellite
I-
for phone, but
No, I don't
yeah.
know what you're talking about with
Like
satellite. on-
if you're, like if you have your
Let me-
satellite, our, we have Starlink at home, and so that's how our phone hooks up is Wi-Fi calling through Starlink. But as soon as the electricity is out, you need it to bump your modem and your router, so.
Anything that's got
Yeah.
electronic components still needs
Yeah.
electrical power.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you have it, it goes into your router and your.
Yeah.
modem.
It's just that the satellites don't turn off. They,
Right,
Okay, well, I think that pretty much answers the question that Sam posed, I think.
yeah,
I will go ahead and take that policy out that mentions
view sheds.
view sheds for cell
Sounds like a good idea.
towers. And I think that should be good.
And I just don't know, push the one in my backyard.
We're gonna tighten up where this view of Mount Mansfield with the south and what.
We're gonna make those.
But you,
Oh, no, I thought you were just gonna take it out of the,
yeah, I was
So
gonna
community
make the
vacation.
scenic resources section, but remove the policy that says that cell towers specifically.
If that's what would satisfy Sam, that's fine.
that was just one of the policies in this telecommunications section, right?
Yeah.
And we'll keep the scenic. Cause that doesn't say they're not allowed in there, it just says we're trying to discourage it in those, and so.
Yeah, or it just,
can
it
cross
doesn't even
that.
discourage development, it just says development should, we encourage. Innovation in the design and layout to minimize visual impacts.
Yeah, I
So-
think
Yeah,
that, I think that's good. I think we should keep that in there myself.
the question I have is, when we print these off, I know this is just like prettiness, but, I think it should be a white background. I really like the light green, but I think it should be white just because it will not pass the government's views on accessibility, like where it should be. So we have to be careful, like, because that is a law, that is a law that everybody has to obey in 2027.
Mhm.
So we do have to have white backgrounds or really the lightest backgrounds, which I think on the internet is great. But I would take out anything in the green and put it in black where, like specifically happened to be on page 18 where it says water and wastewater. Like all of those, the headers, I would put in black, or run it through an accessibility planner. Because we had to do that at our work recently and I was like, oh crap, and they're like, yeah, it's the law.
Yeah,
happy.
that's a good idea. I'll run this through the like accessibility detector and
Yeah.
I'll make any edits to address any problems that it sees, because that's true, that's something I haven't done yet.
Okay, perfect.
It's called 508 compliance.
Yeah, yeah. And then like the background pages, I think if these were white, it'll be easier if somebody wants like to make a copy. Like if we were to make a copy here, it's easier to make a copy, you know, if it's just already a planned white background. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If somebody wanted a color copy, because I think that would probably like the green in the background, while it's absolutely gorgeous, I think it would like Kathy would kill us.
Are you talking about like, cause the background's mostly white, but you mean like where there's like little boxes?
Like this
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
background is like that light green, which is so beautiful, but I don't know. Oh, is it just a?
It might,
Oh, yes,
yeah.
yeah, that's right. And I know you're gonna have some people that are gonna want their hard copy, because I am not a Luddite by any means, but I still like my hard copies, you know, so we just have to make it, so if we do make copies, we can make them here in black and white and that people can read them. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yours is in black and white, is it? Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, these are good things to be aware of, so thanks for bringing that up.
And just a couple areas like on the boxes, I noticed that some of them aren't getting the borders put in. So like in particular, like page 43, the energy generation maps. There's like a 3 border, so like a lot of them I noticed, sometimes if they got too close to the edge, they missed a border on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
If that's like the way it was printing, because I might need to leave some more margins, so everything.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like that.
Yeah,
Mine has it all.
there's like
It could
a,
just be your printer.
there's like on page 9, like all those are, some of those are getting cut off. And yeah, just like the housekeeping stuff, sorry. I do quality insurance for work, so
And everything on my page 9 is inside the borders.
it's okay.
Yeah, so,
It's just when he's printing it out.
yeah.
In the printer, yeah, 'cause mine on 43, it doesn't have the edge, but.
So you might need to like loosen that boundary up a little bit for the printing copy.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah, because I know we'll have to have one on record, a permanent one on record. Yeah.
Okay, anything else on the whole draft of the fund?
Well, I sent you my.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't have a chance to look at it.
So I guess just one, if I could go through a few things, maybe you could help me. It's okay.
Yeah,
People have some time for it, and sorry, it's already late. But on page 3, I found the second paragraph under purpose. It says, stay the same, and what things are going to change. And it defines how those changes are going to happen. Or they are going to take place. And I just wondered, can we say that they are going to change this way? They're going to happen? Or would it be better just to say may there? I may be just feeling like after I highlighted all 3 of them, said may for each of them, I thought, well, maybe we can, as the town plan creators, say that, yeah, this is what things are going to change. These are those changes that are going to happen, and they are going to take place. It just sounds a little bit like we know the future.
yeah, maybe like,
Yeah,
maybe
I just,
how these changes can happen.
yeah, like I said, may happen.
Yeah, how they may, yeah,
So it's in my comments there, so
Okay.
you don't have to worry about it.
yeah, okay.
And then, on page 4, there's under planning program and community outreach. Says the most recent major zoning update was 2012, that's not correct. And actually looked at the, the bylaws were revised in 2017. Just wanted to make sure that was connected. Yeah. And then, so I'm not gonna do every page if you're worried that that's the case. On page 12. There's a statement. State National Historic Register, the full list of structures. It's actually as opposed to, it wasn't the old plan, it was appendix A,
Yeah.
and I have to point that out, this was.
Okay.
And I want to ask, since we live at Lindus here, there's a question on page 13 or a statement that the masonry on the main building of the Historical Society still needs to be repaired and the newer bricks on the 1906 edition need to be replaced. Didn't you all do that?
We did it on the addition on the back, there's still brick on the east and west wall that
Okay.
need to be.
And I think that section was language that you sent me.
Okay, great. I just thought since you're here, it's really good to get that clarified. And then on page 14, are the grants still just $20,000? That's another.
That's another story.
Yeah, the fourth paragraph down, last sentence, the Vermont Division of Mosquito Preservation does offer grants of up to $20,000.
Yeah, I think it was that,
No big deal. It just seems like a pitiful,
yeah,
hard to imagine what you can do with it.
yeah, it's been increasing. I think it's increased from the school planning grant from 35 to 50, I think, so hopefully they'll do it for some other things. Like historic preservation, that would be nice.
I just noticed that chapter 2, it says Grand Isle on the top, but
This has been a recurring problem.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry about it. It's not an plan, and yeah, I'll make sure that Microsoft Word gets the memo of what.
Great.
So last time we had talked about like what the adoption process is gonna look like and what if we want, how much additional opportunity for outreach we want there to be and stuff like that, or for feedback, feedback on the plan. And I was sort of thinking a good way to do that would be, so there's the official public hearing that you have to do to adopt the plan. That's sort of built in as like a way to get public comment, but it might be good to have a meeting before that and really get the word out. Make sure the full plan draft is accessible to people so they can read it on their own time and make any comments and either submit them to me or come to a planning commission meeting and share them in person. And then
I like sending to you.
huh?
I like sending them to you.
Yeah.
Rather than having a meeting here.
Yeah, I mean, we could just do that. I was yeah, I wasn't sure.
Well, I mean, I was joking, to be honest with you. It does make sense. First, I think you're absolutely right. We want to have another meeting. We started this whole thing off with a survey and a public meeting. And then it makes sense for us to end it with some sort of public meeting. And I totally agree with you. Once it's cleaned up and ready to be sent out as a final draft for comment from the public, that's how it should go.
Mhm.
Send it to them, and then we should set a meeting
Yep.
to have people come. And I think we should start it earlier in the day, because I bet you there's gonna be a lot of people with comments.
Yeah, so like maybe push the planning commission meeting up to like 6 or something.
Yeah, at least 6, maybe even 5. And I don't know if we wanted to serve dinner, but that might be too much again. But certainly 6 would be easy to adjust
To
to.
do dinner again, I think people like food.
I've learned through decades of having meetings, you want people to come, you offer food. If you don't offer food, don't expect people to come. It's
Yeah.
really weird. We are like dogs.
That's bad, yeah.
Free food.
Yeah, I mean, living with dogs in my house, food is all they think about. And I think as humans are just really sophisticated dogs. And you know, another thing that I think is pretty cool about the way this plan is put together, the implementation chapter is just 4 pages
Mhm.
and it really captures the critical issues in one section. And so if you share it as a whole document,
Mhm.
it took me 4 days to go through this and put all these comments in it. Very few people are going to even read the whole thing.
Mhm.
But if you point out to them that if you look at chapter 10 implementation,
Mhm.
you can see what the critical issues identified in this plan was.
Mhm.
And when we think that we should do them, short-term, long-term, and who should be involved in that. And I think that that would help people to get a big picture of it all without having to invest a lot of time.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good idea to call that out specifically and emphasize the plan, like this is something we could look at first.
And then I wanted to also ask you if in the appendix 1,
Mhm.
the general, can you turn the map so that they're right side up? Because it's.
Yeah, the maps will just be smaller.
And you know what, I'm looking at them, they're still huge.
Yeah.
When they're turned portrait, that you can see, you can read every word on them, even the tiny little road.
Yeah, we might be able to fit 2 a page and have less pages.
Well, I think it's okay to keep them 1 per page.
Mhm.
It's just that when you turn them sideways, I had to on my computer rotate every one of them.
Mhm.
And then if you print it out on hard copy, you're actually turning your paper sideways to read it.
Mhm.
We should just make it so that they're in portrait to begin with.
Well, so I guess going forward, I will read your comments, anyone else's comments and stuff we talked about at this meeting, incorporate it all into a new draft, send it around. And then also, once that draft is done and looks good to all the planning commissioners, we can push that out to people and publicize it. We could probably do another mailing, like send postcards to everyone with where they can find the.
And what Heather did on social media really,
Yeah, and also, yeah, put it on,
that was huge.
yeah. So I think, yeah, between social media and if we want to do a mailing too, that should
Yeah.
be enough to get the word out.
And then in that, we want to say that we'll be voting, that the select board will be voting on it, and you want to take this opportunity to express yourself.
Yeah,
So
like this
people
is,
understand how important it is.
yeah,
And that it, you know, remind them that we started off with a public meeting to hear from them. We'd like to show them, we heard what you said. We tried to incorporate it in this new plan,
Mhm.
and hopefully you'll find it is okay.
I just want to mention before I forget, I'm sorry, I got so tired and I got ADD tonight. My ADD is a little not great. But when you turn these, like he said, to the more like this way,
Yeah,
can you take this and put it on the side so like cut this part off and put it to the
yeah.
side of the picture? That way the picture can still retain some of its height because, you know what I mean?
yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like all the headers, so instead of like flopping it completely, just cut that off, put it to the side.
Yeah, I should be able to do that. I didn't make these maps, they're like pre-generated,
Oh.
which is why they're the wrong thing.
Yeah.
We're actually in the Northwest Regional Planning.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, like, so like all the other maps I made, I was
Plan.
able to format them, but these ones
Yeah.
were.
So this is what it looks like. If you
On
print it
site,
out,
yeah,
they're going to be pretty big.
yeah,
When you're looking at them now like that, you're not seeing the whole thing.
right,
If you rotate it like I've done electronically, you can see everything, and you can read everything, and it's quite clear. And he doesn't have to change these maps, because these maps are actually in the regional plan. And they're actually the maps that have been submitted to the state.
Yeah, so I can do that. I can turn them right around and see if I can format them somehow.
Just so people like because we have to keep a copy, we have to keep some on hand to give out to people, and we also have to keep one for historical purposes.
Yeah,
So even if you want to separate it, is there a possibility to separate a print version versus the online version?
yeah. But
Yeah,
you could just be available.
okay.
Yeah,
Just so it looks, because we just have to worry about the accessibility. And if we do turn the maps like this, they're gonna be smaller, and I don't think that'll really help the accessibility for people, the folks that.
yeah, I'll try to have a balance between keeping them big enough and also.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you. And if you want to have it different than the website, I'm fine with that too. If we just have a place where we can copy it down and then just leave the website alone. Like, because like Bill says, it's already fine on the site. It's just, we're just having problems when you print it. And I imagine we'll probably print at least 20 or 30 copies or more out for people. I would imagine.
And one last comment I have, there's some pages where you end with just a couple of sentences.
yeah,
I don't mind that, but take advantage of that white space. And I made some suggestions, like one of them, you could put some maps that are related to that topic area.
Mhm.
The other one was have some photographs of
Yeah.
the town that are related to that topic area. And then the other one, I said, copy some of those stories. You know how in the survey,
yeah.
you ask people to say, what do you like about? You could fill the page with just those little quotes. That if you put that in this town plan, somebody's gonna read that and say, I said that.
Yeah.
And they remembered that and they put that in the plan. That's going to really help people feel like they were genuine participants in this.
Like page 29. That just has that one sentence on page 29.
Yeah, yeah,
Like-
we could make better.
Yeah.
Space probably. And
But even if you do go over like that, take advantage of that blank space to fill it in with these things that I just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This first page, sorry, I know.
So yeah, on the back.
The 2, yeah, it's got a 2 there. Sorry.
Yeah.
Don't ever ask quality assurance people to look at this over.
This is how we go.
Well, sometimes they do that so that when you print it, it's actually facing,
Yeah,
to put this page left intentionally blank.
Yeah, but I think she's saying there's like a page number on our.
yeah, there's page 2 and then it starts again, page 1.
Yeah,
Oh, I see.
so
Yeah.
I'll just make
Yeah, but
that.
actually, it's got a page 1 on the cover too.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So I think that's just a numbering.
yeah.
Yeah.
Turn off the numbering for the first 2 pages.
But really, like Sam said, fantastic job,
Mhm.
Yeah.
really a lot of hard work. You really are professional here. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with how I came about. It's thanks to your guys' efforts too. And it's fun. Yeah, just barely.
Yes, I know, it's 99.
That's a big achievement. Yeah,
It's a psychological barrier. I'm not gonna read that thing about 100 pages. I don't know, it's only 99.
and a lot of that's appendices too.
Right.
Yeah, and the appendices are pretty easy.
And I really like the landscape, so I think that was credit to you. I think that was a good call to do landscape on
Yeah,
that.
well, I think that was your idea, someone's idea.
It was his. Yeah,
No, so it's gonna be a source of pride and good work. And then I just wanted to share, reading it, there was a section in here near the end that says that you're supposed to look at it periodically. That's the one thing we didn't do between the last one and this one, because we were the planning commission and we're always doing development review board stuff too. We were having hearings on property permits. And we should, like, every year, look at this and say, are we actually doing these things?
Yeah, good.
Are there things that we put in here that are all wrong now. Because the federal government's changed everything, for example.
Yeah,
so-
because we can update these anytime. Like when I was talking to VLCT, he's like, you can update this and you can update your bylaws and you should. Because like, think about the, typical towns that have laws, like something that happened. Something that's happening 10 years from now, we can't possibly think of what we would make illegal in 10 years in advance. We think we've seen all the bad stuff. We haven't, unfortunately. So you can't think of it. So it has to be more of a living document than,
Yeah,
in a flowing, open document.
yeah, and that's true. Yeah, the plan can always be amended within 8 years if some new priority comes up that's really important to have in there.
Yeah.
Put that in there.
So. We're getting close to where we should probably, hopefully be wrapping up,
Yeah.
but, is there any other questions, comments, thoughts from folks here? In the audience, we'll make sure you've heard, had your say. Anybody here? On the board?
Great job, Luke.
Yeah, Amber.
So I read a lot of town plans of the realtor. Others, and this is just so, I love it because it's hours and it's so full of good content.
Hmm,
Some of them.
Yeah, yeah, it's just,
Really well done.
yeah, thanks.
yeah, it's got the good mix of graphics and
Mhm.
text. It's not too much text, it's not dense,
Mhm.
people will look at this.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what we set the goal with.
We really want them to look at it. And that's why I said it was cool that you could look at one page and it covered the whole topic area.
Now, we could use this section here as a segue to get people excited to actually ask people to submit pictures of something Bakersfieldish, and then that would be what goes in here, what gets voted on at that meeting for that night.
You just gotta be careful about pictures, because if you have faces, you gotta get approvals.
Yeah,
And then,
like scenic, just like be like,
Yeah.
try and take.
but I think,
pictures of scenic.
a lot of these pictures were because you asked for pictures.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got something to say.
Yeah. So I think we've done that already, but
I was just trying to think of a way to get people excited and to come in and be like, all right.
Pizza.
Yeah.
Pizza.
I show people this and they'll see pictures of their town, pictures of their friends, they see quotes from them, they see that we did this and that, they'll come. If it takes a snapshot of a goofy looking person to get them to come, insufficient.
What date are we looking at for that?
So it depends, do you want to have another meeting before we invite everyone? Or,
So sadly, I don't think that we can like look at it electronically and then. I mean, I guess maybe I'm wrong, maybe I shouldn't say I know what it is. Can we look at it and give comments if you send us what you think is a final draft
yeah, as long as you submit your comments directly to me and not
to everybody?
to everyone.
Right,
And then I'll communicate individually with each of you to get
Okay.
your comments
so
addressed.
that would save us a meeting, which would be. Useful, although it could be, if you would rather to have another meeting, we can.
I mean, the next regular meeting time, like first Monday is Labor Day, September 7th.
We've already got and we realized that when we put the two together, it was too stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so we have separated them.
okay,
So we will probably do one, like the first Monday of the month and the other one the third Monday of the
Okay.
month.
that works.
But we haven't decided on when the next meeting would actually be. But that's what I was thinking was maybe we could do the third Monday of every month for
Yeah.
planning until we get this done.
Yeah.
Then we don't have to meet every
Yeah.
month. We can meet once a quarter.
And we can also invite the select board to that meeting instead of taking over the select board meeting with
I
this.
think there's actually a meeting where they do join us. But
There will
they have to vote on it. They have to
Yeah.
approve.
There will be a select board hearing, which is the final step for
Okay.
approval.
That's
But
the-
it usually is good to get them involved before that. It's like they're seeing it and then having to decide
Decide blinded.
whether to approve it right then and there versus getting involved a little bit.
Send them the draft at the same time.
Yeah,
Is it November when we're trying to be done with this or?
So your old plan expires at the end of November. Just with the turnaround time to both hearings and stuff, that usually takes a couple of months. So, I mean, it's likely we might have a little gap between the old plan expiring and the new plan being adopted, which is fine.
Because we have our bylaws,
Yeah.
which are based off of the previous. right?
Yeah, and there's, if you have like a little gap that's like less than a year, there aren't any implications for that.
Let's shoot to get it done before November,
Yeah, so.
so we don't have that question, and because there's really not a lot of things left to do.
Mhm.
Um,
So I guess if we had our public meeting on the third Monday in September, that would be September 21st.
Can you look at that?
Is there a flexibility? I know, we've had this conversation before, but to have it on a Friday evening, just because Mondays with people with kids that go to school, that's brutal to come to a meeting on a Monday. I don't even like Mondays, and my kids are grown up and out of the house. So,
There's a lot of people that won't come on Friday, because that's their weekend,
yeah,
they're going out for dinner.
or even like a Saturday after.
Saturday's even worse. I think we should avoid the weekends. We did the meeting before this on a regular Monday, and we had 60 people in here.
That's true. Yeah, I think that.
I don't think we should, it was a Monday.
Yeah, it was.
Not a Thursday.
Regular Monday meeting, we just held it. But regardless, it was not a weekend. I don't think you should have meetings on weekends. I don't want to have a meeting on a weekend. That's the only time I don't work. At an office. Work at home. So, yeah, the September 21st is actually a good day for me.
Okay, and I guess we could publish the draft on September 7th to give people to look at it before the meeting. Do you think that would be enough time?
And the meeting you're talking about on the 21st, that would be the public meeting?
Yeah, because I think that would be the way to get the plan approved by.
It's a good way to do it, because I think a lot of people equate September, especially if they have kids in school, even if they're college kids, that it's the beginning of the new year. That's when the TV seasons are all new, whatever. But it's the good time. People will think of it as, yes, and if we tell them that we're trying to get this done by November, that'll help them recognize the value in coming in September.
Would you send out a mailing to let them know that they've got that 2 weeks? Cause I don't think like I don't know how you would reach most people. At least beyond that, like I know if you do put it on the website on September 7th. I mean, how many people are gonna know, unless.
Yeah, I think that would be the date that it gets posted, and around that same time, the postcards would go out and.
Yeah.
And how they were posted out of it, and that would be sort of.
I mean, I can even put a save the date out there on social media now and put links to these. To your website, say, keep an eye on update.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
Save the date is a good way to get at least people thinking about.
Excited?
Well, not that they're excited, but they know that's the date we're going to have. Well. Have refreshments of some sort, maybe it doesn't have to be pizza, because I know that was huge.
That was so good, though. We can pull
Okay.
back a couple slices and a couple of people, but.
It just,
Our budget.
it came a half hour late, that's the problem.
yeah,
I mean, it wasn't great.
So
let's go with the
easier, like cider donuts and,
like some sort of light refreshment.
yeah, light refreshments.
Like, yeah. Some seltzers and sodas and like little, I don't know.
Chocolate milk.
Yeah. Donuts and, yeah, whatever, yeah, it'll be a good.
There's some-
Late September.
Right.
So you have to make it past 6 now because you're not feeding them supper, so.
Right.
It's gonna have to go back to 7.
The people that come to these things want to come to these things, not they want to come and get dinner.
Yeah.
They're glad that there is going to be refreshments, but they're not doing it to get fed.
Yeah, we had like 50 people show up in South here a couple of days ago, and that was a meeting at 6, and we just had like little grapes and cheese and stuff. So I think people will still.
Costco has those sandwich platters for pretty inexpensive. They're like what, $25 for the pinwheels or something, and do a couple of those and.
Yeah, I can look into that. I think I have a friend with a Costco membership, so.
I have a Costco membership too, so.
So, yeah, I guess if we have the full draft posted in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming out.
Now it's only 1 foot.
2 foot out, 2 foot's out the door.
Yeah, 2 foot up.
I guess over the next 2 weeks, I'll make a new draft that addresses your comments, and then we'll have the goal of getting it posted by September 7th.
Great.
And yeah, I think that's a good plan.
We should warn the select board that we would like to have a hearing before November.
Yeah, in November.
Yeah, so like it could be I don't know if we want to go to the 3rd Monday of November. Because that's not early.
Well, if it's a select board
If-
hearing, does it have to be on their night? The select board night, or can they do a select board hearing?
They can do it whenever.
Special meetings.
If they wanted to do it on their night, we could come the 2nd Monday of November and have a meeting with them.
Well,
Or it could be in October.
so
October, yeah.
there needs to be 30 days notice of your public hearing. So
Oh, wait, what? What was that again?
there needs to be 30 days notice of your public hearing.
For the select board or the,
Planning commission hearing, and then there's a select board hearing. And each of but both of those need a 30-day notice.
oh,
So
buggers.
yeah, so that's always the constraint.
Because look, it's 8:20 right now. so
Yeah,
nine-
if we give them this early, we don't like have to wait until we're.
Yeah, well, you have to have the full draft together when you post the notice, so like. This is the planning commission hearing draft that we're warning.
Because at this public meeting on September 21st, we're
not
thinking of
gonna hit it.
taking.
It's a rough draft still.
Be able to hit that if that's a 30-day notice. There's
Yeah.
no way. Yeah.
Well, that's not the public hearing, the
No.
September 21st, is it?
Yeah, we're thinking that.
That is the public
No,
hearing?
well,
Yeah.
no, we're thinking that would be before. the
Right,
public
Right,
hearing.
right.
So the public hearing could be October.
October.
5th. Isn't that our normal? Yeah, because we don't have a DRB meeting that night yet.
Well, I don't think we should ever think that there's not gonna be a
Yeah.
DRB meeting
Right.
on the first Monday of the week.
I think we would need a special meeting in October, because if our big public meeting is on the September 21st, it would need to be at least 30 days after that.
Why don't we make it October? 19th, you can give the notice before that, right?
22nd.
Well,
No.
because the idea is at this public meeting, people are gonna be giving us comments, so
Right.
the draft would change after that. And we need to have the full draft be together when we warn the public hearing for the 30 days.
How about if? Do you want to take a look at what's absolutely required and propose a schedule for us?
Yeah, I can do that, and it just might not be. The plan might not be adopted in.
It could be that it's
It might be December, that's the only thing, but yeah, I'll look at it, sort of work backwards from having the public meeting on September 21st.
Yeah, 2 sets of 30-day notices is gonna make it almost impossible.
So you're saying before, we can't have the 21st meeting on
No.
September 21st.
Yeah, we can.
That's not as.
That doesn't have to be warned, that's just, yeah, that's not like the legal public hearing, it's just a meeting that we're having.
So share with them, they can
Two-day
get some
notice
comments
meeting
with us.
special. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
and I'll have the materials posted 2 weeks in advance, just so people have
Yeah.
a chance to look at it.
but we still need to have an agenda for that night, because it's still considered a special meeting, so we probably should still have an agenda for that.
Yeah, it's still a planning commission meeting. So
Okay.
you guys will all be here. Cool, so yeah, I'll put together a schedule based on that and send it to you guys. The last thing that I wanted to talk about, so. It is the season where municipal planning grant applications are opening up. So like this was a municipal planning grant funded project updating the town plan. And I think you guys had talked about wanting to do a more major zoning update after the town plan is done. So there is an opportunity to apply for that this year if you're interested.
Yes.
I brought some of the information about the grant. Basically, we could help you put together a grant application. And if you guys want, we could be the municipal agent again. So if you get the grant, then we would be the ones doing the work and you wouldn't have to put it up to bid or anything.
Can we make a motion to do that tonight?
I,
So we can get the
Absolutely.
application. So I make a motion that we do what we. I'm so tired, I'm so sorry, that we do what we need to do to get that going. So a motion to request that NRPC is puts in the grant or helps us. You can say it better. What?
yeah, so NRPC would create and submit a grant for revising the bylaws.
Great. Yeah, that sounds good.
So I move. All right, I make that motion.
All right,
Second.
we have a second. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Please, no one say nay, because we would.
I'll kick you out of the room at this point.
Yeah, we don't have 3 votes. So, thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, of course.
How long would that
The deadline for that application is November 2nd, so I probably will have some things that I need you guys to sign just for the grant application, so I can bring those to one of the next.
And does that have to be signed by the select board too?
I think there's something that the planning commission chair has to sign and then also the select board.
Because that is a select board meeting night,
Yeah,
but you want to do it before that.
Can you email it to Bill? Bill, can you sign it if he emails it to you?
I think it's something that has to be done at a meeting anyway, so I'll bring it to a future meeting.
Yeah,
We'll have a lot of opportunity
Yeah.
before.
I don't want somebody else to take our grant.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not like a
The
first
date on
time.
that for us.
Okay, so our next meeting will be September, and that will be September 21st. And that will be the public meeting to have light refreshments and discuss the revised plan. And so that'll be the primary item on the agenda. Then if everybody's okay with the 3rd Monday of the month, would October 19th be okay with everybody for the next meeting? And maybe we could do whatever's needed for that grant
Yeah,
then.
that sounds good.
Um,
And I'll coordinate with the select board to meet with them about the planning grant too,
Yeah.
since they'll be involved with that.
did you say there's money in the budget still for refreshments, or would it have to come out of our budget?
I can take a look.
Okay.
And see what we're able to do. I think. Yeah, we can look at what the options are for like, because we'll do the mailing too, that'll be
Okay.
some, and then I'll see how much is left over for food. And it could be that we could do pizzas, and maybe it'll be like a more like light refreshments type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we won't have another meeting between now and then. So, are you guys okay if I work with on the refreshments?
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can just directly coordinate with that.
And if is there any money in our budget? If there's something not in their budget?
I have no idea.
so we do have money in our budget. I don't think that it is going to be a problem for small incidental expenses of this nature.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you. Thanks for coming, public.
This was everywhere.
Yeah.
I'll feed her gallon. I'll feed her. Bye Amber, bye Linda.
Bye, thank you.
Welcome.
I just had this one basic question about the scenic resources base map. What is that?
Basically to help our discussion when we were talking about some resources.
Okay.
Yeah.
You interpret this, is this?
Yeah, I made some like 5 minutes just in case we needed it.
Okay.
It doesn't look very good. It's just.
I don't know, it could be a great t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a good t-shirt.
Camo for,
The little dotted lines.
Yeah, I try to do the contours and also the satellite.
actually, that could be, pretty interesting. Well, oh, one thing also. For the public meeting, I put it in my, email, I think, or it was in like, minutes.
Mhm.
Is getting a large map. So
Oh,
people
yeah.
could see it as opposed to relying on this. Because I think that this is going to be one of the more significant areas of conversation that night.
Yeah, like this, like something.
Yeah, like something that size of.
Yeah.
Put up there,
Right.
yeah, of the future land use map.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I can definitely do that. We have like a big plotter at the office where I can make a big
Right.
map.
Okay, I'm about ready to fall. Oh, we're still going. aren't we?
Yes, still items.
Can we skip 7 because I think there's no chance of us,
So that's done, yeah, I think we're,
yeah. Like. We're.
was there any, any reason to change number 7? Or to
Take it
have
out.
any discussion, we'll just. Okay, the
And-
discussion is we're all satisfied,
Yes.
Agreed.
the minutes, do we have minutes?
That
That would be the June meeting, we can wait if you don't.
Yeah,
Okay,
if
so,
you have them, I don't know if I have, they'd probably be an email.
so that would be for September.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
sorry.
read those a while ago. I don't remember.
Should have brought those with me. I didn't think.
That's. No, I get those are the July ones we commented on most recently. Or, yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
we talked about.
I'd have to look.
Would be DRB.
July.
See, that's another issue that. Trying to keep them straight.
Yeah.
Them
Right.
separate, yeah.
I did-
I'll make sure I get paper copies here on the night.
Now, because the planning commission has a more narrow.
Yeah.
Focus and.
And it's winding down.
Correct.
It's winding down for 2 months and then ramping back up.
Well, the planning commission,
No, because we're doing bylaws.
is it the planning commission that does bylaws or is it development review?
Yeah, it's the planning.
It's a planning.
Okay, so yes, we will ramp up.
But yeah, you might have a little break.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna, I think it would be good if we could take a break
Mhm.
over the holiday.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
And
for
maybe
sure.
pick it back up in the,
February.
yeah, when it's nice and cold out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna be.
So the last thing is adjournment.
I move, we adjourn.
All right, we adjourned at 9:05. All right, thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Luke.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
thank you.
Lou, and thanks for everybody figuring out how to put this together.
Yeah,
It was pretty impressive, that there was nothing.
Yeah, well,
Nothing.
wasn't even that
All right.
hard.
Yeah, it's really, the town plan, but I like it under 100 pages.
Yeah. That's always the goal.
Is this like, what did the kids say now, TLDR?
Yeah.
Too long to read. One of the coworkers sent that to me when I sent him, I was explaining to him why code didn't work, and he says TLDR, and then I wrote back, you broken. You broke the code, buddy. Recording on? Probably didn't, but I just added his whole money.